Better?
There's like an RGB.
All right, so it turns out design 1 was better. All right, so hello, my name is Tina. I am coming from the Gold Coast. I'm currently, as you can see with the whole professional thing, I have a Bachelor of Arts in double language major, so I do Japanese, and my honours is in game studies. I'm currently a PhD student in the same thing, but I'm actually from Cotton Candy Cyanide, so it's a game studio that's on the Gold Coast, but no one really cares about that. The important stuff is I really like Dota. I have a dog, his name is Kira, and I really love nachos, but I hate cheese, corn chips, and salsa. So don't ask me, just don't give them to me separately. But that's not why we're here. So I'm from Cotton Candy Cyanide. We have a very pink website, so if you ever need some pink in your life, have a look at it. That's a map of the Gold Coast in case you don't know where it is. That is how you get there from Brisbane. But I'm here for quantum suicide. So I'm going to just assume that no one knows what that is, because I wouldn't if I was you. So Quantum Suicide is a game that I'm currently working on that is going to be released mid-year for PC, Macs and Linux, and then again at the end of the year on PS Vita. So I have just the promotional video and a bit so I can explain it first before I get into getting there. All right. So this is, oh, that's right, I don't use touchpads. So this is the PV, so the promotional video for it, just to give you an idea what it is. And it has no sound.
Does it not?
Sorry?
Does it not?
It normally does. I can do. No, but
Are you sure? Because the volume, it should have sound. It's a HDMI. Pulse it. This is why we need to do practice. Yes! Oh, beautiful.
it might be me.
We can all do the music.
Okay, so try that again.
Is it coming out of your...
Yeah,
Just turn the volume up.
that is up.
Louder.
It's up.
It's the 2 slide links are on the meetup, I think. The links to
I'll be able to put up the second one because the second one isn't, but that's easy. But it's more reading anyway, so yay reading.
You could read the Japanese.
Yeah,
The Japanese part.
it won't help you though. So Quantum Suicide is a Japanese-style visual novel. So if everyone knows what a visual novel is, it's very narrative-heavy, very much just that you pick like choices in the game and that changes the path. So Quantum Suicide itself has 37 different endings that you can navigate through and 6 chapters that you have to go through to get there. So what happens is you play as a shipborne researcher and you get to pick whether you want to play as either a boy or a girl, and from there you have to navigate your way through the game. So what happens is the AI system, after the ship has taken damage, has recognized that there is not enough resources on board for the rest of the mission because you're currently doing intergeneration. So you're going to die on this ship and you were born on this ship. Your children will be born on this ship and they will also die on this ship because light speed, like light travel and all that, is still science fiction in this world. So it takes time to do things. So what happens is the AI system goes a bit bonkers and is like, well, we need to get rid of a few people then if we're going to still make this mission happen. And by doing that, she is then like, you have to play a game every week to determine who gets to live and who gets to die. So each week in the game, you actually get a different game to play. So the first one that you can play is actually called Make 10. So she gives you an instructional video that you can watch in the game to make sure that you kind of get the rules. And then from there, you have to navigate through your relationships with the other people on board to either team up with people or betray people or do whatever you like to try and make sure you live to the next stage. So here's one of the games that you can play. This has to happen in the first week of the game, because after this, there's not 10 people to play any more games. Now with this game, unfortunately, it's all digital, so you don't actually know what number anyone else has, and they don't know what number you have, only you know which number you have. So you have to be able to talk to people and find out whether you want to trust them as to whether they actually do have that number or they don't have that number moving forwards. So when it comes to the actual round of the game, you have the option to go with almost anyone on the ship and hope for the best, I guess. If you want to give this one a try, if you go to itch.io, it's actually a part of the playable prologue beta that you can have a go at this. Maybe you're just feeling really, really generous, or maybe you're just like, I'm done with this ship, I'm getting off. So during the prologue, you will have people that will tell the truth about the card they have. You'll have people that tell lies about what card they have, and you can also lie about it as well to use it to your advantage against them. So,
Do you know what cards you receive in trades after the trade and stuff like that?
okay, so with the game itself, it's got like a time frame, so you don't know the number you have. What happens is at the end of the round, there is like a scoreboard, and it comes up with everybody's scores. So only then do you find out whether you got screwed or not. And by that stage, you're pretty much either going to die or not. But from there, of course, you can always go back and try again. Maybe partner with someone different is an option. All right, so I'm going to tell you about how I got to this point. So it's kind of anecdotal, so bear with this, like story time. So in early 2015, I had just finished, I'm pretty sure it was the Danganronpa that was out at the time. Is everyone familiar with like Danganronpa and the Zero Escape series? Okay. They are Japanese visual novels. They are usually on, I think they're both on Vita, as well as some of them are getting PC releases and stuff like that. They're both kind of sci-fi-ish, but they have a Batsu game premise. So like almost like strip poker, but so if you do something wrong, you get punished. So both of them do that. So you make choices during the game, and if you get it wrong, you can usually die or someone else dies. So I like killing people. That is the one thing in games I'm like, yes, if I can murder people, I'm happy. So I just finished the recent one, and I couldn't find anything else out that was similar to either of these games. And by the way, don't type in, I really want to kill people to the Google. You'll get on some lists there. But so I was really, really frustrated. And so what I decided was, well, why am I going to sit here and complain that these games don't exist when I can just make these games, right? Isn't that what everyone does? So my friend and I at the time, that is Nix, we were just like, you know what? Screw this then. Like, why are we just sitting here complaining that we don't have this? We'll just make this then. And I, of course, was getting too far into it. I'm like, hell, we won't just make a game. We'll make the greatest game in the existence of original English language visual novels. Because why not, right?
Absolutely.
Why not? And then, of course, that was where I laughed horribly, and she was like, I'm a bit scared now. But too bad, because she was already in.
Can we hear your evil laughter?
Oh, yes. All right. So there I was, and there she was, of course, and we made a list of everything that we wanted this game to be. So I will just start with, neither of us have made games. She has a law degree, and I have a degree in Japanese language. So we're both like the blind leading the blind here. So we just made a list of everything we wanted. We wanted, quotable options, because we really like dating games as well, but we also want to kill people. So we wanted to bring Danganronpa and Virtue's Last Reward, but then throw in some, like Japanese dating sim like in there. So we wanted each with their own sexual preference as well. So the 6 quotable options that are in the game have their own sexual preference. So depending on whether you pick a boy or a girl at the start, will depend on how they will react to you, whether they want to save you because they're like, hey, like we can do this later, or whether they're like, I'm not interested, off the ship. Like, so as I said, the game we wanted 30 endings, we wanted 6 chapters. Now we were going like big. We were like, we want 30 plus background images, we want 30 plus CGs. So CGs, of course, are really big in visual novels and dating sim games. Like, so they're the cutaway image of, you know, someone kissing someone, you're like, oh, and then you collect it in a gallery. Multiple sprites and expressions. Now, we wanted Japanese voice acting, but we knew that we could probably only do partial, so we're like, that's fine, we'll settle for partial. We wanted original soundtrack, and we wanted PC, Mac, and Linux at least. We're like, it should be okay. Yes?
Can't you speak Japanese and possibly do at least one of the voice actors?
I could, but it would just be a bit weird, especially if I'm putting it together and then I have to listen to my voice the whole time. I can hear me now and I'm not happy.
There's probably a classroom of people that you know who all have learnt how to speak Japanese.
Yes, yes, but Japanese people are super cheap. And they're authentic. So for example, like the prologue and the demo has partial Japanese voice acting in it, and it cost us a few $100s, and it was done. So we were like, it's doable. We have to kind of get around it because you have to have like a VPN and stuff to get the stuff. Anyway, so we also made out what we wanted. So we wanted, you know, puzzles, we wanted sci-fi, we want anime styled, we want to kill a whole bunch of people. And I want the player to never be safe. So there is no stage during the game, if you ever play it, can you not die? I will kill you at every moment if you screw up, and it's great. It's so much fun writing death scenes for the player. But I really wanted a connection to characters as well. Like, I want to kill people, and I want you to be like, oh, what have I done? Like, I didn't want that to happen. I don't want you to be like, nah, I didn't like Sarah anyway. Like, no one liked her. All right, so. Now, the problem I've come across is since 2015, everyone's like, oh, that's ambitious. It's like the catchphrase of this project, that's ambitious. Everyone's like, why don't you just start with, you know, 4-hour visual novel, you know, draw your own pictures. I'm like, why? Why? Like, why not make the greatest original English language visual novel ever created? So I sat there and I'm like, you know, worst case scenario, it bombs real hard. Everyone is like, Tina is the worst writer in the world. This is the worst game in the world. I want my time back, might get sued. And I'm like, but really, what's the worst case that happens? People are mean to me on Twitter and I just go make another video game. Like, might change my name in the process and country, but that's fine. Like, I can do that. And I realized that best case scenario, I actually just make the game I want to make. People like the game I made, and I just get to make more video games. So at the end of the day, it's win-win. Not for them if they hated it, but it's win for me. So.
You don't care what they think.
No.
If they didn't like it.
No.
If they liked it, then you're great with what they think.
Exactly. Plus, lions lose no sleep over the opinions of sheep, right? So I'm like, you know what? You want to...
Can we quote?
I think that is a quote.
It is a quote. Like, you want to tell me how shit it is? That's fine. Let me play your game. And then we can maybe work together. And then I can be less shit if you're, like... Guide me then, like, rather than just saying you're crap, like, guide me. But either way, so from here I was like, this is easy. I just got to break it down into steps that I can do with my no game development experience or game development anything, and it'll be fine. So I was like, all right, got to make a functioning demo. That didn't seem too hard, right? I'm sure you're all laughing here because you're all probably game dev people, and you're like, ha ha ha, what have you got yourself into? All right, so step one. Problem, I don't know how to code. Neither does my partner. We've both got no idea. So I Google, what is the best thing to make a visual novel in? And it goes Ren'Py. Ren'Py is a visual novel engine that is specifically made for visual novels. So it uses a gimped version of Python. And I'm like, all right, I can do this. So YouTube, a whole bunch of out-of-date cookbooks, and I get a working demo of a terrible game called Gay Bar within 4 hours.
Wow.
No blue screens, 4 different endings. So proud of myself.
Wow.
So I'm like, all right, we can do this.
What did you say it was called?
Gay Bar. Okay. So you played as a guy and then you went into a bar and you got to pick up different things. I just really wanted to play the Gay Bar song in the game. So I made it so once you got to the Gay Bar, it was like, dun, 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 and I'm like, yeah. And then you got to go home with, other different, all right, so it worked. This is all good. So I went to my partner, Nix, and I'm like, look at this. And she's like, love the themes. Gay bar, great. I'm like, awesome, it works. And she's like, it does work, so we can do this. So we're like, all right, sweet. So then we started making a demo in Ren'Py. Now, as this is a Unity meet, you'll probably be like, why do I care about Ren'Py? Well, I will have you know that I have now changed to Unity, which, by the way, is very different. And I am struggling daily, but as you would have seen on the meetup thing, don't even try to talk to me. I'll be like, I don't know what anything's called. I just Google it and then it goes, press this button. And I'm like, trial and error, shit crashes. I go, that's okay, I'll pull up the last build. Like, we're good. So I'm learning, but feel free to laugh at how terrible any of my stuff is. But yeah, so I changed to Unity because because it is like I don't want to say gateway drug to coding, but it's a gateway. It has a lot of limitations to it that I couldn't get around. So I'm like, that's fine. I'll go to a big boy engine. And now I'm just like, what have I done? But it's fun either way. So now we're into Unity, and it's a thing. I'm still trying to get around the whole object stuff because Rempe, I just got like Notepad, so I just code done, makes the images happen. This is like, put this in. Anyway, moving on. So that was fixed. I can kind of code now. Yay! Enough that people can't tell when I put out a Rempe thing that they're like, this chick did this in an hour. Like, whew, we're safe. All right, so what else could we do ourselves? We can do writing, kind of, right? And marketing stuff. So we can put pictures together. I can't very well, but she could do it pretty well. But what can't we do ourselves? So we made a list of things that we couldn't do. Neither of us can do art. Neither of us can do music. And you had a point with the voice acting, but we're going to go with no voice acting. All right, so we had to make new friends. And we didn't have many friends. So we went to the internet and asked for friends. It did not go well. It turns out most people don't want to work with you if you don't have anything behind you. Even if I'm offering you money, they're like, nah, it sounds risky. Sounds ambitious. Like, artists, please, I will give you all this. No, like, I don't want, it doesn't sound like it's going to go anywhere. And I'm like, really? You're doing freelance work of DeviantArt. Like, take my money. Anyway, so after about 6 months of sifting through DeviantArt pages and multiple, I've seen so much. DeviantArt can get pretty dirty, by the way, in some parts of it. I've seen some stuff. I finally found some people. However, I found some difficult people as well. So be aware that this is going to happen, especially if you don't already have friends and connections that you're going to like kind of find your people with. I had one artist who came on as a main artist, and I was like, yes, loved the art, it was great. She's like, okay, I just need 3 months because I'm a bit busy, and then I've scheduled you in. I'm like, all right. So I sat and I waited for 3 months, did the other kind of things. Hey man, where are you? Oh yeah, nah, I'm not doing it anymore. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me 3 months ago? But that's fine. I've got plenty of time. Other one, I like to believe that if I give people money, they will do a job. Turns out I made that mistake. If you give people money on the internet, sometimes they don't come back. So now I have a half up front policy. Then you can have the rest because I learned that the hard way. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. So I thought we're all good. So I've got a whole bunch of artists. I've got all these people. I can kind of code it together poorly. We can write it together. Sweet. Oh my God, details. As a non-art person, so many details. Seriously, I have like 2 whole folders of uniforms. Who the frick cares? It's a uniform. But turns out you have to do everything. You need emblems, and you need color scheme, and everything has to blend together. And oh my God, it was definitely something I wasn't expecting. So be aware, yes.
I'm just going to scare you a bit and point out that in AAA games, they will spend millions on the forehead.
That's fine. If I have millions and can get someone else to deal with the forehead, I'm fine. But if I have to deal with $1 million foreheads, I don't want to deal with it anymore. Like it took us 2 weeks to pick a font. Why? I'm like, that font's fine. She's like, no, it doesn't blend well. I'm like, that font's fine. No. So be prepared that everything has to kind of come together. As you can see, that is my wonderful drawings up there, which is why I'm not the artist. But that is an example of me sending a picture to our artist and going, this is what I want. And that's what I get back. So I'm glad he knows what's going on, because I clearly don't. That is another one, which is a CG from the game. I'm like, yeah, this dude's drunk. And you should see it, but I didn't have it yet. But I've seen the draft. It's good. But yeah, so be prepared that every little thing counts. Like, I just thought, idea, code, smack, done. Yeah, who knew artists were a thing, right? All right. So the writing. So a lot of times, because I obviously do the writing, people are like, what's your process? How do you do this? And I'm like, I don't know. It just happens. So I broke it down as the easy as I could think of it. So when I'm making characters, I go, this is a character I like. This is someone I know in real life. And then I pretend that they've had a baby. That is the character. So then I'm just like, how would they react? Why would they do that? And that is as good a process as I can tell you as a because I'm not a real writer or anything. I don't have a writing degree. I don't.
Sorry to disappoint you, you are now.
Not yet, because I still haven't been paid. So I'm an amateur writer. Amateur. So watch out, Tumblr, here I come. All right. So next thing, got characters? Good, got them all. The plot. All right. I'm like, we're going to make this story and this will happen. And then people are like, problem. And I'm like, oh, problem. All right. Can I fix it? Yes, done. Problem solved. Can I not fix it? Oh, there goes that entire chapter. Like, we won't come back to that. We'll start again. So as far as the writing goes, the suggestion would be have a proofreader and editor, of course. But I'm sure you all have that person in your life who is so annoying to watch movies with, who sits there and goes, they wouldn't have got there in 2 minutes. That car can't do that speed. I'm lucky enough that that's my husband. So I would go, here is the story. And he would go, nah, how does that spaceship even hold that many people? You didn't say that. You haven't done this. But at first I was like, I hate you. And why are you not supporting me? And then I realized he's exactly what I need, because if he points it out now, I can fix it. But if I leave it until it goes to someone else who is then going to go, how do many people fit in this spaceship? It's better to fix it before it goes out to other people. Plus, I can punch him. I can't punch them. So that is a good thing to have in your process of writing. So we were done. Step 1. Yes, demo created. So we had a working, functional demo, except for that one time that I released it and it blue screened, and then Twitter decided to show me it a whole bunch of times. It's fixed now. And if it isn't, I'm fired. It's fine. But we had it. We're good. So it took about 10 months to go from nothing to having a demo, a functioning demo ready to go, and about $8,000. So it cost me a lot of money, but hobbies, yeah. So up to here, still up until right now, I'm still a working normal person and making games on the side, because currently I do not have a released game, so I have no income. So it's currently just what I do, funsies. All right, so sweet. Step 2, go to crowdfunding. I'll be like, hey, Kickstarter, look at my great idea. Throw money at me, right? That was the plan. I've got it working. So I broke down exactly how much I need to make that list at the beginning of everything that I wanted. And it was about 30,000 Australian dollars. Now that doesn't include any money for coding or writing, because obviously I'm just doing that for funsies. So that's pretty much artists. Thanks, artists. All right. So we launched in November of 2015. It was going great. It was going wonderful. We had a stall-y thing at Supernova, so we were trying to get the word out, telling everyone about it. We gave out air fresheners that didn't smell like anything because I ran out of scent. And then when people ask me what they smell like, I'm like, space. And they're like, it doesn't smell like anything. And I'm like, neither does space. So I kind of got away with that. But we went to Greenlight. We got greenlit in less than a week. So we were just like, fucking yes. So everything was going great. It was great. Then we failed. That was not great. We didn't even get really close. Like we got 60-something% there, and we failed. It sucked so much to fail. I assume someone in here has probably done Kickstarter or crowdfunding. It's like a kick in the teeth. But we're like, all right, that sucks. But 557 people tried to give me money. That's a positive. And I'm like, that's fine, because if 557 people are willing to give me money once, maybe they'll give me money twice. So we kind of recollected ourselves and we're like, you know what, enough crying, enough, oh, woe is us, all this stuff. We'll do it again. Everyone's like, really? You're going to launch a second Kickstarter on something that's already proven to have failed? And I'm like, yeah, why not? It doesn't cost me any money. So we kind of pulled together, we kind of like started to brainstorm how we can kind of get this to happen this time. So, you know, spreading the word. So we made things like, you know, post this on Twitter with this hashtag, and once you get to a certain amount, we'll release extra content and stuff like that. And also on Instagram. Turns out I'm terrible with Instagram. Twitter's fine, Instagram, not my thing. So we tried really, really hard. We released more videos. We even had one of the previous backers wrote like parody songs from like 80s music, but with like the themes of our game. So we even recorded one of those songs and then made a film clip of us like jumping around a karaoke booth, and everyone, it was a pretty crazy time. But so we recollected and we went back. And this time we got so much more like love from everywhere. So the first time around in the Kickstarter, we got like zero anything, no media, no nothing, no websites wanted to even know about our existence. And that's fine, because technically we're like, hey, we're two non-game developers who want to make a game, give us money. And they're like, ha ha ha, you guys are gonna fail, that's great. But they didn't want to tell us. But the second time, they're like, oh, you're giving it another shot. That's nice. Here, like, look, we'll talk about it. We'll say that you're trying again. I'm like, awesome. So we got people to actually cover us, which is really, really nice. We got a whole bunch of YouTube people, like, just doing playthroughs of our demo and stuff, and then putting the up on their pages and like linking us. And we're like, oh my God, someone played it. It's really, really strange though, watching people play your game and just being like, oh shit, the tense changed there. I should have gotten an editor. And then you're like, please don't notice, please don't notice. And they're like, oh, their shit changed. And you're like, fuck. But either way, we also did things to try and get more community together. So we did like the husbando versus waifu war, because obviously it's a dating game kind of at the same time. We made it that you could actually vote for your favorite, who you wanted to win, and like obviously live and stuff. And then we released art for like the winner and things like that. And we did it this time, yay! So we got funded February 29th, 2016, because we made it so it hit 29th, because we're like, yeah, it's got to be lucky, right? Once in 4 years. So at the end of it, including Kickstarter, also PayPal pledges, because obviously Kickstarter didn't allow PayPal pledges, and the Backer Kit, which is a fulfillment agency that kind of just ties into to Kickstarter, we raised $70,000. So we went from 20,000 and no one likes us to 70,000 less than 3 months later. So we're just like, yes. All right. So because of that, then we got to now have the game fully released in full, like, so it comes out in full English and full Japanese, as well as with full Japanese voice acting. So yay. However, it still sucks because I now have $70,000 and I don't get paid, but that's cool because I'm just like biding my time. All right. So happy days. Everything's great. My partner's like, I hate you and I want out. No, she didn't say I hate you. She's just like, I've got bigger and better opportunities, so I don't want to be a part of this project anymore. And I'm like, awesome. I'm so happy for you. This is actually a comic book made by one of the backers as to why she left. Supposedly she's gone to destroy planets. And that is now supposedly canon in our community. So if everyone's like, you know, where's Nix? It's like, she's off. By the way, she doesn't have legs for some reason, but she destroys planets. So just after the Kickstarter finished, I then went from a team of 2 to a team of 1, and now we have 1,000-something backers that have just given $70,000 in the same timeline and the same time frame, and they want their game, and now I'm down a person. So that really sucks. But obviously, I love her, and she's my friend. I support her with her killing of planets. Yeah. So, challenge. That's fine. Do you know what beats that? Time management. Yes. So, this is currently where I am. I'm currently making the game. So, people are like, how are you managing this? And the only way I can think of is I work out where there's a problem and I fix it. It sounds like I'm putting out spot fires, but it kind of is. So when I try to think about it, I'm like, try to not have anyone that is working, like contracting for me, waiting on anything. That is currently what I'm trying to do. So I made a list, and I was like, yeah, I have an artist and like a musician. It turns out I've got over 35 people like that I'm pulling bits and pieces from at the same time. I'm some sort of octopus manager and I didn't even realize it. So, for example, like the CG artist. So he makes the CGs of like, people kissing and stuff like that. What does he need? Well, he needs to know what the characters look like, so he needs all the sprite art to be done. He needs the background art because obviously these scenes are happening somewhere. He needs the writing, so he needs to know what the scenes should be, and also like for there not to be massive errors in it when I read it myself. And so I try and make sure that whatever everyone is doing, that all the work before it is kind of leading up to it. I know that's really, really hard to try and explain. And I hope some of you are getting it. But yeah, so that is currently my day-to-day work. Find the chokes, fix the choke, we're good. And so far it's working. So, but I realized that along my 4 steps of things that we need other steps in here. So I'm at currently 3, make a game, but I've decided to add 3.1 and 3.2, which is make friends and opportunities. Yay! So I went from having no one and knowing no one in like game development circles or anything to having so many friends that my high school me would say that this wasn't real. They're like, no, that's not even possible. There is no way this many people like you. Well, I think they like me, but I'm not sure. Either way.
With any luck, at least they like your game.
Yes, that's fine. Like my game, you can hate me all you like. If you like my game. Oh, I love you, Ren. See? Look. Someone just said she loves me in public and it's filmed.
She loves okay.
All right.
I love your game.
Oh, thank you.
Is there anything for that first gay bar one?
Yeah, we'll have to release a patch first. All right, so for example, like during this process of since being funded and currently in the process of making the game, for example, like Oz Comic Con just contacted me and is like, hey you, do you want to come show your game at Oz Comic Con? I'm like, bro, I've got no money. And they're like, nah, we'll give you space. And I'm like,
Nice.
what? And they're like, yeah, like we'll give you a table, we'll give you power, and I'm like, what's the catch? And they're like, you just need to bring a demo of your game. And I'm like, I have one of those and it doesn't blue screen. This is great. So things like that have happened and I've just been like, you know what? I am kind of really time poor. There is only one of me, but hell, let's do this. Like, you can make it work. So things like that have happened. Like that is our booth at Oz Comic Con. That is a dakimakura of the captain from the game. So she's a 150 centimeter love pillow. It's great. The other side, she's not wearing as many clothes. But I am equal opportunity and you can get it in male characters as well. So yep, everyone's covered. But yeah, so for example, this part here, I'm playing Don't Starve Together with 4 other visual novel developers from around the world, and we just streamed it together of us, like just playing it and dying. Everyone's a ghost, as you can see, because we're not very good at it. But it was just really good fun. And of course, like for example, GX is coming up this year. If everyone knows what that is, yeah. So it's like a inclusive game thing. Convention, there we go, that's the word. And so we got the opportunity to go there. We were actually really, really lucky. One of our backers saw that we were supporting them, and so he actually put down the money for us to get a sponsored booth and paid for it, and then had them contact us and be like, one of your Kickstarter backers has actually paid for you to go to GX. And I was like, really? So yeah, it's great. And at the end there is Michael. He chased me down in PAX. He found me to have me sign his fan art from the game. Like, I'm just like, what? Why? But I love you. But why? Okay, so the next 6 to 12 months is obviously making the game, and you don't really have any pictures of or glamorousness of that. It pretty much means that I will start not showering as often, possibly skipping meals, but you know, it's all for the craft. But also, everyone, you should know GDC is in February next month. Who's going? You represent second row. And also obviously GX, and also there's a good chance that we'll be going to Bit Summit. So it's actually the Kyoto Indie Game Festival in Japan. So that's pretty exciting. So this is obviously my terrible drawings of me telling like the backers and everything what is happening. I'm not responding because I'm working, don't call the police, I'm not dead. Or my insight on coding as someone who doesn't have a degree or any kind of teaching, it's just, 25% dumb luck, 50% actually knowing what's happening, and 25% it shouldn't work, but it does, so just leave it alone. Like, just run with it. All right, so random things that I have learned. Oh my God, NDAs, right? I didn't even know what an NDA was. I'm now under like 8. Like, what is going on? Like, I didn't even know what one was, and now I have a collection of them. I'm gonna start like alphabetizing them or something. People are great. Like, I have never met a community that is so great. Like, I have not met one person who's like, you shit. Or, why are you here? Like, you don't belong here. And I'm just like, either they're not doing it to my face or I love them. Like, it's fine. But yeah, this is just at Oz Comic Con. Everyone's dapping or whatever it's called. I don't know why, but they're just happy. People getting murdered at my demo, which is great. I love taking pictures of people getting murdered. And down here is actually a collage that we made of every single backer from the first Kickstarter image of their profile. So we were like, look, we love you. It took me only 4 hours, but we love you. And so we also have an official Discord channel, so people just come and hang out, and it's great. And one thing that I learned that I wasn't expecting, because I'd never really written before, is killing characters that you then work out you like is hard. What? I was like, haha, this is great. I'm just gonna chop up all these people. And then I'm writing how the other people are reacting, and I'm like, why would you do this? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Now I feel bad for the other characters that I just killed someone that they love. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. These people don't exist. but yeah. All right, so some of the highlights. So community is just absolutely amazing. Like, this is just fan art that people send me, and I'm just like, what? Like, who took the time out of their day to draw a picture of a character that I made? Like, why? You could do anything else. And so you're just like, I'm so humbled, like, it's amazing. Down here is actually a photo of one of our backers called Tia Filler. He does a whole bunch of, I think, legislation on land. And that was him in Dubai showing pictures from my game, because he's like, it's about me section and this is what I like. And it's just got pictures from the game to all these land people in Dubai. And I'm just like, this is great.
Free advertising.
Yeah, free advertising. But yeah, crossovers. Up there is a different visual novel called Soul Set, and their artist likes ours, so just drew fan art of them two crossing over. But yeah,
That's cool.
It's great. And more highlights, because I like to talk about the happy stuff. I got to be on a panel with Ron Gilbert. Ron Gilbert obviously made Maniac Mansion and Day of the Tentacle and Monkey Island and stuff. I sat next to him. I may have breathed in air that he breathed out. Don't get a restraining on Maria if you can see this. But,
It's put on film.
I tried to act cool. I'm like, oh, hey, Ron. But yeah, I have met someone that I absolutely idolized from young. And if you asked me when I was like, I'm just going to make a visual novel 2 years ago, it was never going to happen. I still am a bit like, that didn't happen. You obviously were on drugs or something. But it did. And it's amazing. I got fan art of me. That part threw me a bit. I kind of got around to the point where I'm like, characters, okay, yep, people like the game. But then I started getting people drawing pictures of me, and I'm like, wait, what? Also, I have kind of just become a character that now I'm no longer allowed to laugh with ha 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 on the internet. I have to change it to foo foo foo, because that is now in character for me. I didn't even know I had a character, but I do now. Foo foo foo. And also, one of my friends who is a developer in Japan that I met there is like, hey, congrats on being mentioned in Dengeki PlayStation. I'm like, what are you talking about? Sends me pictures, and it is in the indie section of a game that they're looking forward to with screenshots. And I'm like, holy shit. I haven't done the demo in Japanese yet. It's still in English, and somehow Japan has gotten a hold of it. And I'm just like, this is great. Who would have thought? Now, of course, it's not all great. People are going to hate you. It happens. My favorite is still this weeboo trash makes me want to commit quantum suicide. And that is because I really like puns. So it doesn't even matter how mean you are to me. If it's a pun, I'm going to be like, haha, yes, that's great. And you just have to be aware that this is going to happen. Don't take it personally. I've gotten a few delightful hate mails that I like to keep because, you know, nothing gets you fueled like someone on the internet being angry at you. I am a misogynist, accordingly, to some of these complaints. I'm also a racist and a pedophile and a whole bunch of colourful things. But I have only gotten 2 death threats. So woo! 2 years, 2 death threats. That's a pretty good rate. But yeah, so this is like, yeah, if you're going to make a project on your own, just be aware that not everyone's going to like it. And some of them are vocal about it, but not everyone likes chocolate ice cream, and those people are crazy. So let them have it.
That's the ones who don't like it with cake.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what is wrong with these people? But the point is, I'm not going to yell at them for it, but if they want to yell at me and be like, vanilla ice cream superior, go for it. Like, enjoy your vanilla ice cream. Like, I'll have my chocolate. So, kind of bring it together. Hello, my name is Tina still. Hasn't changed since I started. In 2015, I had no industry experience, no coding experience. I pretty much have just been funding myself, which I still am. No community, no dev friends, no idea really. That still kind of applies, but winging it works. And you know, things have gone really poorly. Like losing my partner was
Hell.
yes, like I thought that was kind of the nail in the coffin of, you know, you kind of struggle through all these things, and then if your best friend's like, yeah, I'm out, you're like, oh, okay, cool. But it's okay, because you just get up and you keep going. Like, she'll still be there, and when I'm rich and famous and the biggest name in original English language visual novels, I'll buy her a car, and it'll be great. And then she'll be like, what have I done? I'll be like, oh, we can move over together. And then we're going to go into some sort of gay bar again. But, all right. So lost my main artist as well, which sucked. Failed Kickstarter. Definitely sucked. But look, no, doesn't matter now. I have an artist. I have a Kickstarter. I lost money to contractors, but that's fine, because like they say, if you give someone $100 and you never see them again, it's great, right? At least they didn't come back and give more money. Like, I'm good. But it's great. Everything is great. Like, there are definitely still hiccups, and I'm still trying to fix things, but so aren't we all doing that? Like, why not do what you want to do while you're doing that? Like, here I am at the beginning of 2017. Like, people gave me $70,000. Like, a bank wouldn't do that. If my life depended on it, they'd be like, sorry, maybe good luck in the next life. I've been invited and attended different conventions. I've been on panels with Ron Gilbert. I've been in PlayStation Magazine. I have dev friends. Ren, Ollie. I now chair the Gold Coast IGDA, because why not? I've gotten like a whole bunch of game dev scholarships, and I have the best community in the world. So now all that is left is to actually make the game. But it's okay, I'm working on it, right? Become the biggest name. Because, like, just don't give up, right? It's cliche, but it's correct. Like, if you get down 3 times, but you get back up 4, who cares about the 3 times 4? They were practices. But seriously, if I can do this, seriously, people gave me $70,000 and I coded something that came into blue screens on Twitter. Like, you'll be fine. And Reddit, you sustain me sometimes. Like, I know a lot of people like, don't read about yourself. However, I found on the Zero Escape section of Reddit, people were like, does anyone know any games that are like Danganronpa or Zero Escape? Bam! People are talking about my game, and I'm just like, oh yeah. Sustains me, Reddit. And it's not negative, which is surprising for Reddit. It's actually quite positive, so I'm very happy. But yeah, so that is kind of what I have done and where I am. But yeah, so feel free to let's be friends and stuff. Or shenanigans. I enjoy shenanigans. But thank you. Sorry if I bored you.
Time for questions? Questions, anyone?
I'm not going anywhere.
I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. Well done.
So what are you using in Unity to do the VN part of it? Is it fungus? Or, you know what that is?
I told you about fungus. I was the one who told you about fungus.
Okay, so I will try and explain what I have done and then see if you know what that means. So I went onto the store and I bought a thing that was like VN thing, like helps make it happen. And I bought that and then I pulled it to pieces and then put other stuff in it and then put it together. So whatever that is what I have done so far. I'm so sorry, that is completely useless. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad. To you?
That's what I did.
Okay, so.
It's a good approach.
It's a good approach? Yes.
What's like, you mentioned you're like under 8 NDAs, like, with who? I mean, it's
She
like,
might
it's
not
your
be allowed
project.
to mention what the
Well,
details
yeah, but I just
are.
feel like it's your project, like,
Yeah, right?
so it's like, which sort of NDAs
So
are
they
these?
sign your NDA?
No, my NDA's out. I've got about 30 something.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm now in the law department at my university, the lawyers are like, gotta get this out. Like, I've got so many contracts now just sitting on my desk, people going, I'll help you out. You need this contract for this, you need this one for this. And I'm like, why? And they're like, you'll thank me when you're sued. And I'm like, okay, so but the NDAs that I've signed is mainly publishers. Because people come to me and go, oh, we're interested, sign this. And I'm like, all right, and then I sign it and they go, this is what we'll do. And I'm like, no. So it kind of seems like mean that people are coming to me and being like, we'll publish. And I'm like, no. But, you know, it's give and take. And especially now that I know people, I'm like, does this sound like a good deal to you? And they're like, no. Like, they know you don't know. Like, and that's why this is happening. So that's kind of where all the NDAs have come from, like different publishers. And obviously with like going with like a PS Vita release, and I had to obviously do NDAs with Sony and stuff like that. But yeah, in a folder. It's a pretty folder. Yeah. Yeah?
You said that you got into Oz Comic Con, was it, for free?
Yeah.
They contacted you about it?
Yep.
Do you have any idea how that magic happened?
Yes.
Might be interesting.
Yes. I actually asked, because I was like, look, I don't want to play this down, but what? Like, why? Like, how did you even know I existed, kind of thing? Which is great, because the chick who I was talking to, who is like the content person called Michelle, was just like, oh yeah, this is why. So what happened was, at the Supernova the year beforehand, when I was handing out air fresheners that didn't have any scent on them, but just lying to people, turns out someone got one of those, then passed it to the person who runs PAX in Australia. And then that person went, oh, it's anime, and then handed it to the content manager of Oz Comic Con, who does the anime section. And then that is how she contacted me. She just saw it and went, hey, cool. But yeah, it was my terrible air fresheners that I gave her that ended up on her desk. And then she contacted me and I was like, this is amazing. That being said though, you need an assembly line for that. Like, so even without the scent, what we did was we got printed coasters, because we were looking for the most cheap and effective thing that we could give people for free that isn't just a piece of paper, because people just throw that out. But we couldn't afford badges or anything. Like, we've got no money. Like, we already just paid for Supernova, and I pretty much gave them my firstborn child. So we had coasters made, and then we had to hole punch every single one of them, and then cut string, and then put it through, and then tie the string, and we got 10,000. It took 2 weeks. And my brother and his wife came up from Melbourne, and I just put them in like a line. And I was like, you sit here and you hole punch and you'll like it. But but it worked. Like, my brother still kind of hates me, but I got into Oz Comic Con for free. So it all worked out.
I'm just going to put that into perspective. You did 10,000 over 2 weeks. That comes out to a bit over 700 a day. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, the people hole punching had to like change shifts because we were cutting our hands open from the metal like hole punching, and we were actually like losing, like people were starting to bleed on them. Like, don't worry, I didn't give out the blood-soaked coasters. Yeah, on the coasters.
They're extra, right?
Yeah. They're saved for special people.
For suicide, it would have added a
Yes, that's what I
Well, we were when we first got them and got the scent, we were advertised, like we made a poster for it and was like, get your free air freshener because it covers up the scent of blood on your spaceship. But then it didn't have a scent, and we're just like, oh, well, we're gonna have to roll with it. But yeah, some of them probably did the opposite. They made your spaceship smell like blood. But, whoops.
Those extra ones, you already have 2 people at least who think that death is an appropriate thing to wish on people.
Yeah, I'll just send them as presents. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was saying, of the 10,000, how many did you end up giving out?
How much do we gave out about 3,000. So my room currently is full of
You didn't take them to OzCon?
hole punched air fresh. No, yeah, we did. We did. However, we had upgraded by that stage. We had badges.
Ooh.
Yeah, and people were like, we want a badge. So I got to a point where I'm just like, please take a coaster, have 4 for your friends. Just use them as actual coasters. And then the thing is, when we got them printed, they accidentally printed them incorrectly. So then I've got 10,000 air fresheners and 10,000 coasters printed backwards. But it's okay because as coasters, they still work. It's because when you hold it up like this and if you hole punch it, it doesn't match, like one's upside down. So it works as it. So I was just like, here, you look like you could use a beverage. This will help you later. Protect that wood, and just giving out random amounts of coasters to people. But I still have about 8,000 of those as well. So if anyone wants one, you can come to my house. I will give you some. I should just start bringing them to these things and just start throwing them at people. They do make good weapons. I got the good thick cardboard. If you need them.
Please take them.
Please take them. They're a fire hazard in my house. All right, we good?
I wish you did bring them.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's all right. It'll just be an excuse to come for a trip again. I'll just be like, coasters for everyone, and do Gambit style things. Yeah.
There'll be another one of these in a month.
Yeah, I'll just bring a box.
Sounds good.
You'll get less than 100 gone, but
Not if you all take at least 10 each, which I will be checking on your way out. No, but yeah, awesome. Well,
thing behind MoltenCherry. Is there a story to that?
yeah, so MoltenCherry is my gamer tag that I've been using for a very long time, maybe 10 plus years. And the reason was I really like cherry blossoms, like the plant. So for ages it was just cherry, but then my friend was eating a pie who was drunk, and then I was like, oh my god, you just threw up, and he's like, nah man, the pie was molten. And that's how I got MoltenCherry. Yay! I need to come up with a better story, but that's it. That's just it.
Think of bath cherry.
Oh, no, because he didn't throw up, it was molten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know what that means.
Yeah. But yeah, so thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
No, really good.